Pay-per-click in the B2B world is tough, and you already know that. It's not getting any easier. So in this video, what I want to show you is some true B2B PPC expertise. We're going to skip over some basics. We're going to talk about some stuff that other people just really aren't talking about, the things you only learn in the trenches. And I'm going to show you a clip of an interview I did with a real B2B PPC expert. And I'll share with you who that is here in a second. But if you're new around here, I'm Brendan Hufford. I'm the founder of SEO for the Rest of Us. I've started and sold a few online businesses. I also lead the SEO team at Directive, a search marketing agency that does both SEO and B2B PPC for some of the biggest brands in the world, like Allstate, Betterment, Samsung, Cisco, companies like that. And what I found in my experience leading the SEO team at Directive is even my top SEO specialists, our top account strategists, they want to learn PPC as well because they go hand in hand so well together. There's also a lot of overlap in the skill set to be effective at one and effective at the other. So today, big reveal, in case you didn't see him in the thumbnail, today I want to share with you just a short little clip of an interview that I did with Bill King, who runs B2B PPC, right? Drift is a B2B company. He runs both organic search and paid at Drift. So big reveal, in case you didn't see him in the thumbnail, I want to share with you just a super short clip of an interview I did with Bill King of Drift. He runs both PPC and SEO at Drift. And today he's going to share with you some stuff, two things that people don't really, well, one, people talk a lot about, which is how some of his big wins and how he got them at Drift, but also some of the mistakes that he made. And nobody really talks about that in the B2B PPC world. He's going to talk about some of the mistakes he made and just really be a little bit vulnerable and share some stuff that you don't hear a lot of people talk about, especially on YouTube. If you're looking on YouTube, watching all these different videos about B2B PPC, they're very how-to, but you're not getting a lot of real, honest, tactical advice. So let's check out that clip with Bill King of Drift.
I want to talk about paid just for a second, because I think it's such a cool thing. Like, people come here to learn SEO and stuff, but I also think like when there's a second skill set that a lot of people want to learn, like a lot of times it's copywriting. That's something I'm fascinated with, but it's also understanding paid, right? It's such an important, whether you're doing consulting or working at a company, like understanding how they work together, I've found to be like invaluable. So if you could tell me briefly, like what are some of like the wins that you've had with paid? Like, is there anything that you found to be like really successful, or anything maybe that even the other direction was like, oof, that wasn't the best bet?
Yeah, I think the easiest one was redeveloping the data strategy on paid. So when I got here, there wasn't a great like system for different events that we had to fire. All the parameters weren't set up properly. So one of the things that I did was rebuild that foundation at first. And so that goes back to that itch to go get stuff done. Like, we could have easily walked in here and been like, yeah, let's go build a few more campaigns, and then avoided those things because the temptation was easy to do that. But I think those two things were probably the biggest wins I had early on, because we needed the right data, and the pace that we move here, like, you need to have those foundational things in place. So working with our engineering team, making sure we have the right stuff in place was really good. I think, so to talk about things that didn't work, because Drift isn't one of those places that just wants to grow as fast as humanly possible with no like limitations. I think that as an industry is going away. I think the toughest thing has been controlling for like the LTV, the CAC type of stuff for our aggressive goals, and just like monitoring cost and quality. I think part of that too is like, as I've been here, we've moved up market to a kind of a different audience as our core user. So getting our systems in place to adapt to those really fast changes, which typically takes a year, 6 months to a year for most companies. I think that's been a real challenge for us. So maintaining the cost and scale type of stuff has been tough. And I think we've made maybe some bigger bets on driving leads from content that have maybe a lower intent versus leads that maybe have higher intent, but there's not a lot of scale there. So I think like every day I'm trying to understand like what's the best balance. How do I help to support the sales teams? Because really we have 4 divisions. We have a touchless freemium type of engine. and we've got small, medium business, and then enterprise. So there's kind of 4 like customers of my work. And it's just like, it's easy to get locked in on like supporting a raw lead number versus like what's going to deliver the highest ROI for the company, and adapting to that at the pace that we're going. So every day I'm like trying to learn from these things and get better. And I think, you know, fortunately I work in a place where they're pumped if you fail, if you still learn something, that they're very cool about that.
All right, I love how Bill talks about like, hey, don't just make more campaigns. Don't just get into it and try to just get more acquisition, more people, more leads, more demos booked, whatever your main KPI is. And I see this all the time in my world too, in SEO, where, you know, really well-intentioned search marketers are, hey, let's just do more content, let's get more links, and they don't fix those like fundamental issues that are common on websites, especially for enterprise brands with really big websites, really powerful sites. Taking a step back and making sure you have your ducks in a row, making sure tracking is set up and everything's set up in the foundation before you build it out is super smart. And this is true especially in B2B PPC, right? If you have any sort of scale going on, you're trying to do anything important or interesting, it's really difficult to maintain that customer acquisition costs, balance it with lifetime value, especially if, like Bill said, you know, you're moving up market like Drift has been. So here's what I'd love for you to do. Share in the comments below, what is your biggest win? Or if you want to be vulnerable like Bill and you want to share a big setback you've had or a loss, like I would love to kind of talk through that. Let me know your biggest wins or biggest losses when it comes to B2B PPC. Let me know that in the comments below. If you want to learn more about B2B PPC, here in the description, I have 2 playlists for you. The first one walks through it's all the pieces of my interview with Bill. So you're like, I want to really see the rest of this interview. You can check that out. There's a playlist in the description below. There's also a playlist that walks through PPC versus SEO and how that mixes with SEM and then all of these different things. This video is a part of that playlist as well. You can check that out in the description below. Last quick note, if you are creating video and audio content like I am, make sure you check out podreacher.com. That's my content partner. If you're running B2B PPC and you're looking to have content built to drive ads to, taking that content and pulling it directly into long form written content that ranks in search is Podreacher's expertise. So you can check them out at podreacher.com. And again, final call to action, just let me know in the comments below, what is your biggest win in your role, whether it's your company or you work at a company in the B2B space when it comes to PPC, what's been your biggest win? Let me know and I'll see you in the next 100 days of SEO video.